Fascinating.
Segway sound.
Oh, look at you! It's a Conspiracy is a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ETB. For a list of other fun programming, please check out the Alberta Podcast Network.com, where you can find shows like Creative Block and Look at Fanny's Fanny. I'm just kidding about the last one. It's a little Irish joke. Oh, Darby Orgill and the Little Peoples.
My brother Zach.
Hey guys, I thought it was a good chance to debut a new theme song for the podcast, and I think this one's a little bit better, a little more, let me know what you think. Okay. We'll talk to you soon.
So here we are, just come with me. We're talking about conspiracies. It's Andrew, Scott, and friends today.
I know you don't eat shellfish or anything.
A mollusk.
A mollusk. Like the night that not the night that I got in, but the second day, like me and my dad went shopping, and we were like, "What are we gonna have for dinner?" And I was like,
Yeah.
like we just got into town kind of deal, and we walked past the fish aisle.
Past the shop.
We walked past the fish aisle.
My shelf.
We walked past the fish aisle, and like,
Stop
we
being
found
so shellfish, Miss Moneypenny.
we found like a giant bag of mussels. It was a 5-pound bag of mussels.
Oh, dude.
So we ate all of those, and then we ended up picking up a pack
10-pound
of.
sack.
Then we ended up picking up like a case of oysters. We didn't know how many were in there. There was 20 fucking oysters.
Holy!
So that night we ate 5 pounds of mussels and shucked 20 oysters, and like it was pretty.
And you live to tell the tale.
Live to tell the tale.
Dude, you have. I hope in the next life you get to, because like
you are missing out,
oysters
bro.
and mussels. Oh,
Yeah. Oh no, it was super gluttonous.
and like
Funny enough, you can buy lobsters at the airport to take home with you. Live lobsters.
live lobsters.
Live
Isn't
lobster.
that sick?
To fly home with
And the
you.
lobster's like, "We're going to Alberta," and you're like, "Yeah." When we get
I'm
home,
gonna shit you out 10 hours from now.
you're gonna boil to death, and then I'm gonna eat you.
Wow.
Are we recording?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Episode 14.
Into darkness again.
No, Beyond. Episode 14, Beyond. Welcome back, everyone, to It's a Conspiracy. This is the podcast where we lay out the beliefs behind select conspiracy theories, alternative accounts, legend, myth, and more. I'm your host, Andrew, and I do not claim to be an expert on anything we're going to discuss today, and will probably be wrong about everything as usual because I will probably be wrong about everything as usual because I'm washing my hands quite often, disinfecting surfaces, avoiding close contact, practicing social distancing.
Instead of fact checking.
And I'm not fact checking, but I'm listening to medical health professionals. Yeah. I'm usually all about the facts, though, you know. If you'd like to see where we dug up whatever glimmering, shining nuggets, what is going on over there? We're going to discuss, then please check out the resources in the episode description. Charlie scrubs those clean and carefully
Spick and span.
places them in the clean place, episode after episode, where you can observe through glass with gloves diligently. Lastly, we are a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB. Yay, team.
Yeah.
And once again, they have been awesome. So if you're an ATB member, this is a really good time. They've been really cool working with this whole self-isolation thing. And we're lucky in Canada. This whole thing is going to be there. We're going to
be aight.
Yeah, we're going to be aight.
Go team ATB.
Yeah, that's right. And they're one of many banks, but they're stepping up. It's nice to see. You can check us out online at our website, itsaconspiracypodcast.com. Twitter at Is It a Conspiracy? That's run by the Irish Madman. He's in his security bunker Facebook group. The Instagram podcast, that's run by Gorgeous Greg. Our email and our Patreon page, patreon.com/itsAconspiracy. Joining the communication time today is Gorgeous Greg and Charming Charlie. Hi. These enthusiastic wavers from a distance will interject as they see fit, and I appreciate their company at a safe social distance.
2 meters.
That's right, 2.5 meters. 2 meters, yeah, totally. And I'm glad we can do this. Charlie he's humming.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Can't take-
actually,
no, that's fine.
like, were you just listening to this song all day or something? Or
It's
an earworm?
it's a bit of one of those things.
Earworm.
Das Earworms.
Well, it's a nice change from the usual belching and other sounds from other parts of the body that come out.
That'll come shortly.
I think that's part of the song.
Speaking of which, we have another milestone here. This is our 50 Fist episode. I know we've already celebrated our 50th, but this is our 50 Fist. So we can wave our fists at each other.
From a distance.
Yeah, because we're not going to...
2 meters.
Charlie, with a yes or no, can you tell me if you've heard of either of these theories?
Let's do it.
Okay, so number 1, the Doom Song of Montreal.
Doom, 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 doom.
No.
I'll take that as a yes.
Yes.
I hope it goes something like that. And number 2, a brief history of April Fool's Day.
No.
Okay. So subject number 1, the Doom Song. Charlie, Greg, have you two ever heard a song? And this is hilarious. This is happening. So, have you ever had a song get caught in your head?
You're from
Any of them?
A time or two.
Have you guys ever heard of the Doom Song of Montreal? So, there's a theory that one song in particular is so catchy that you can't stop the rocking, and it basically overtakes your brain until you die.
Stop the rock. Can't stop the rock.
Can't stop the rock. What a good time. Okay. So there's a song, and sorry to be that guy, but I don't want to say what the title is because we're talking about a Doom song, and I'm like, I've sort of avoided this, which is kind of cheesy, but it's part of the legend. Is basically you want to stay away from this song because otherwise it'll get trapped in your head. Supporters of this theory claim that
Is
an
it
artist...
Danny's song by Loggins and Messina? Because I've had that song stuck in my head for a couple days now.
Loggins and Messina. Is it the love theme from Top Gun? Supporters of this theory claim that an artist named Benny LaVivo. Have you guys ever heard of Benny LaVivo before?
No.
Okay. So his real name was Reginald Corsage.
Of course.
Which is a way better stage name.
Fuck, Corsage.
You're like, you know what? That's too.
Reginald Corsage. So that's his real name. Anyway, so Benny LaVivo was found dead in his Montreal apartment in the early 1970s. Slumped over the kitchen table, just dead as dead can be, pencil in hand, and a partially finished song scrawled on a bit of paper in front of him. Nobody really knows what was the cause of death, but it was assumed suicide. And
he didn't throw himself out of an airplane, did he?
No, he didn't. He didn't cut off his hands and feet and anything else.
All his hands and feet, yeah.
He was just slumped over the table, dead, and with this scrawled out song in front of him. And thus began the legend of the Doom Song. So one of the police officers, a man named Ron Schofield, happened to be a big fan of LaVivo and recognized him. He's like, "Oh, it's that guy. I love this guy.
He's my favorite guy."
And he grabbed the piece of paper that LaVivo had written down. And he's like, "I could take this. I could write a song. This could be something that I could pass off as my own. It's a LaVivo song." He finished the words of the song because apparently it was just the chorus that was written. Came up with a basic melody, and he decided he'd pass it off as his own. On the night of the recording session, someone calls the studio and they're like, "Can I speak to the officer, please?" And the person on the phone, apparently LaVivo's girlfriend, claims she knew about the song and was aware of what he was doing.
I know what you're doing.
And the officer is like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Hung up the phone and asked the recording engineer to he's like, "Let's just keep going with the session here."
Don't worry about it.
Yep. I don't know what that was all about. Would a calm person laugh like this?
She only calls me when she wants something. Oh no.
Yeah, that's the song, which shall not be named, was released. And for an independent release, it did okay, but it was marked by odd tragedy. So, for example, the DJ who first played the song on air wouldn't stop humming it and was replaced. He was fired on air, which doesn't happen very often with radio DJs. And he actually killed himself later on.
This is boss Vince McMahon.
You're fired. Comes a chair. The engineer involved in the recording of it went bankrupt shortly after and committed suicide. And LaVivo's girlfriend, the one who had apparently phoned the studio, was found dead of an apparent overdose. After a very short string of sad coincidences, commercial, community, and campus radio all decided to boycott the song, and it failed into obscurity, or so it would seem, because multiple versions keep showing up. Schofield, the police officer who had originally recorded the song, later admitted the circumstance involving the authorship of the song. So this generated a buzz over the piece, and due to a strange legal loophole, anyone could cover the song and get the royalties themselves while claiming it to be a work by LaVivo. So they're like, Greg could record it and be like, "This is a Benny LaVivo song," but you would get the money for it. because of the whole way it was found and written. Like the guy stole it and then finished it, and they didn't know what belonged to who, and that guy wasn't allowed to collect money on it. Does that make sense?
It's like Bittersweet Symphony where they like don't make any money on it.
That was a straight up sampling issue, but this was like the guy who wrote this song didn't ever copyright it. We don't know if this is what he had, and it was stolen, and we don't know what the guy who stole it added, so it just became public domain. But you could also be like, oh, but he wrote it. So
That's a PDBLV.
yeah, the PDBLV.
Yeah.
So anyways,
No idea what that means.
you could record versions of this. And so this is why every few years the song would pop up by like big artists. And then coincidentally, every time it popped up, a tragedy would follow. So artists, DJs, record companies, management, record stores, etc. were all affected in a string of bizarre events that amazingly all happened after being involved with this song. So deaths, bankruptcy, divorce, closure, sickness, scandal, and general mayhem, it seemed destined for anyone who got involved.
Hooray.
Yeah, totally. Eventually this song was canned for good. The Canadian government put a kibosh on the song. They're like, oh, just stop this. This is ridiculous anyways. And the whole legal loophole, that's probably what they actually stopped it. But the last version was allegedly a Spanish version for Terry Gilliam's The Man Who Killed Don Quixote project in the early 2000s. And the artist involved in that killed himself shortly after. Crazy. Okay, so Schofield himself, who survived this whole thing, he wrote off the talk of doom around the song, finished off his career as a police officer in Montreal, and there were no albums or anything after that he put out, and his musical career didn't go anywhere. And he wasn't facing any charges, and he was able to just be a police officer and go on policing. That's the Doom Song.
Sounds like an artist problem to me. Can we check out the song?
I would love to check out the song, Greg, but unfortunately, if we listen to it, then we're doomed.
That's bullshit, man.
That's how that works.
We can't even get a title out of this thing.
I can't even get the title because, full reveal, I was going to listen to it, and then I got scared.
Oh, it's not actually called the Doom Song?
No, it's not called the Doom Song.
Young Charlie, look it up.
No, don't look it up, Charlie. We want to survive this. Okay, that will take us to our famous what are we drinking, Greg? Sorry, Charlie, what are we drinking?
What are we drinking? What are we drinking? Branded with character, we are drinking Industrial Park Ale. It's got my name on it. It says
does.
right there, name, Chuck.
Yeah. And it's
It's
one of Greg's
hoppy,
favorites.
aromatic, and balanced.
IPA.
Where's this from? Wild Rose Brewery. What does it say? It's hard to read the side of the can when the can is open and there's liquids in it.
Wild Rose Brewery is from Calgary, Alberta, Badger approved, and find out more at wildrosebrewery.com. Look at that can.
Ooh, sweet can.
It's a beaver wearing a hard hat, and he's got like work gloves on.
No. We recognize the birthplace of our brewery in Calgary's Foothills Industrial Park with this time-honored recipe for a well-balanced IPA, marked by the most industrious of beavers. Chuck. This copper-hued brew was plenty of hot, perfectly balanced with rich malts to satiate the most provoked by a damn long workday.
It's hard to hear what you're saying with this Hummy McHummerson humming away.
How come it says James Brown on the can? Right above the 473 milliliters. Hoppy, aromatic, balanced.
James Brown.
There it is. James Brown.
It does say in quotations. It says James Brown.
Respect.
Get up and feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good, man.
Get up off of that thing.
That I would.
That wasn't the cursed song, was it?
James Brown?
No, I don't think so.
There's no
All
way.
right, I'm just checking.
How nuts would it be if that was though?
Oh,
man. When I was but a young man in university, my friends and I went to see James Brown play in Calgary, and it was.
Was it like drinking an IPA?
But the funny thing was, this little tiny guy came out at the beginning of the concert, and he's like, "And now, everybody, James Brown!" And this super high voice, this tiny little guy could not be more enthusiastic. And I found out later on that this guy, that's his job. He introduces
Hype
James
man.
Brown.
Don't you remember? You've heard those old
Amazing.
recordings, though, right?
And he's all over them.
Where the
It's
band,
the same guy.
like where the band leader's like, "Are you ready for star time, Mister? Please, please, please! All aboard the night train!"
But this guy didn't have that kind of DJ sound. He's like, James Brown. Like it was the most abrasive voice I'd ever heard. The guy came out. He's like, "Thank you, everybody, and I'm here to introduce James Brown." Like it was nuts, man.
So you
It's gonna be hard on the ears. Yeah.
just like super chill, and then all of a sudden
He walked out in a nice suit, super chill, and then all of a sudden,
everyone.
just
ladies and gentlemen.
yeah. Hello, everyone.
Then he was like Chris Tucker in Fifth Element.
He had a real Chris Tucker voice, but he didn't have like when you look at Chris Tucker, you're like that guy's annoying. And when you hear him talking, you're like, okay, that's enough. But like this guy didn't look annoying. He looked like a friendly guy.
Opinion time.
Oh, you were like, oh man, I could be friends.
This guy looks really nice. And I can be friendly with him. Yeah. And then he started talking.
And you were like, oh no.
But his job was he was the introducing man.
He was the introducing.
He was the introducer. Oh man, are we still talking about
I actually do. I do have a bit of an addendum to what are we drinking here today.
What do you got?
Okay, so you guys may notice I have the characters with an umlaut, o, and
looks like
ooh.
It looks like umlaut of them over
Yeah,
there.
there's a whole umlaut of them. So o, ooh.
Ooh.
I'm going to put these here now, gentlemen.
What?
One of these is a refreshing glass of water with some ice, and one of these is a refreshing glass of vinegar with some ice. So, Charlie, would you like
How come there's 3?
Because there's 3 of us, man.
So which?
So do you get? Would you like o, or ooh?
Yeah, hold on.
O, ooh.
Give me O.
All right. I'll just put that there. Greg, do you like or ooh?
I'll take
Ooh. We're gonna put this here. Okay. All right. We're practicing social distancing. Okay. Happy April Fool's Day. Cheers.
I can't smell this beforehand.
Clink. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh yeah, that's water. Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the vinegar. Charlie, it's over here.
That's bullshit. I call bullshit on it.
You can try it if you like.
No,
Sir.
social distancing, my man.
Cough into your elbow, please.
Yeah.
That is disgusting. That is. I'm not.
I can't believe you took that big of a sip.
I didn't know which one was which.
You mixed it up so you didn't even know.
Oh man.
Damn it! I've been burned by this before. Okay.
So it was completely random.
I had 2 with water, 1 with vinegar.
It was completely random. So I was stalling because I was like, O2. That makes sense. Oh, go for the water. There was no strategy.
I have 3 characters. We
get
all had
it.
an equal chance.
But I was wondering if there was something like vinegar and then
I just went with ooh because it's a sound I make when I am interested. In stuff.
You can at least smell that, and you'll know I wasn't faking anything.
Can you legitimify.
Ugh, that was disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, that was white vinegar, ladies and
Why would
gentlemen.
you do that to us?
I wanted to do it to you, not to myself.
You deserve this.
Okay, well, we got another one of those coming up, so I hope one of you bastards
Yeah,
has
that's
to
right. I gotta
pay for it this time.
Better hydrate.
That was the grossest thing.
Yeah, also don't drink vinegar.
Sorry. or vinegar.
That's going to take us to ad number 1.
The podcast you're listening to is proud to be part of the Alberta Podcast Network powered by ATB. And so is mine. My name is Vanda, and I'm the host of Tight Ends Podcast. I don't know much about football, but I know a tight end when I see one. If you're looking for a sports podcast without all the stats and numbers and even facts and figures, join Tight Ends Podcast, the sports podcast for the rest of us. Every week we find out what's up with Gronk, and we always have a great tweet of the week so you can follow along. Go to albertapodcastnetwork.com to find more great podcasts like Tight Ends Podcast. And remember, clear eyes, tight ends can't lose.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Charlie Scream. I just wanted to pop on by and say hi, and while I'm here, I never really liked our original theme song, so I thought I'd sneak in a new one. Alright, here we go. It's the Charlie Show, it's the Charlie Show. It's the Charlie Show, it's the Charlie Show. Super neat.
All right, that's going to take us to Monster of the Week. Here we got Charlie Scream's Monster of the Week.
Monster of the Week.
Was it a fist?
All right, we're talking about a fun guy this week. We're talking about Deer Man.
Deer Man.
Look, here's a picture. Here's a picture. There's Deer Man. It's pretty far away. I don't know if you can see him or not.
What?
Deer Man.
Good Lord.
Deer Man is a cryptid whose legend originates in the folklore of North America. Sightings of the Deer Man have been reported from several U.S. states, although there is some variation in the descriptions given. That's a big surprise. How you doing? You watched
I'm
that?
fine.
all right
I'm
over
fine. That was really gross.
Off of vinegar for a while.
Man, you
It just means more vinegar for the rest of us on our chips.
Right.
You should try this stuff before it gets to vinegar.
So
Sorry,
deer
man.
Sorry,
man.
he's a hybrid deer man. Sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry about that.
Either of us.
Train wreck, a hybrid animal. Deer man has an antlered head of a great stag, a human's torso, and legs described as similar to either those of a man or deer.
But not a lesser stag?
That's only a great one. In addition, it's usually said to be well muscled and surprisingly fast for its size. I get that a lot. Other accounts gift the beast with the power to transform itself from a regular deer into the form described above. Let's talk about some sightings. In Ohio, an unnamed 14-year-old witness was playing at his cousin's house near sunset when he spotted a creature emerging from the bush. His report said, "It was getting dark, and I was the one searching. Because we were playing hide and seek, you see. I heard leaves. You see.
Hide und seek.
Hide und seek, you see." This was in Ohio. It wasn't
Sorry.
Germany.
Not somewhere in Europe.
Hide und seek. It was hide and seek, you see.
I don't think it's
It was getting dark, and I was the one searching. I heard leaves crumpling, and when I turned to look, I saw what looked like a deer on its hind legs. I clearly remember seeing dog legs running, but the rest of the body was straight up, and it ran with incredible speed, and I knew it wasn't either of my cousins hiding. I ran as fast as I could back to the house, and one of my cousins was running in too. He saw the same thing. It still creeps me out to this day, because my uncle always told us how he saw weird things on that property.
I think you're the new voices
That
guy.
used to be the voice guy. That was good.
Well, that was a child's voice.
A young European
An
child.
Ohio child.
Ohio child.
I don't seek, yeah.
There was another in Hawkinson, Delaware in 1993.
Oh, my.
Another account from an, at the time, 8-year-old witness who was staying with his grandparents in their home.
He was right there.
This pretty much sounds like the same one.
He was right there, almost pressed against the window in profile. I stared in awe, and that is when it changed. In one smooth movement, it reared up on its hind legs, and it was no longer a deer, but a man. There were only 2 men in the area, my grandfather and my dad, and it was clearly neither. Not sure if that made it better or worse.
What 8-year-old talks like this, man?
Grandpapa.
Grandpapa.
Grandfather was very built for his age. Dad had a gut. This silhouette was clearly
What?
Dad was a lazy piece
younger,
of shit, and
muscular,
Grandpa was built.
but not in a like a brick way my grandfather was. It exuded strength and scared the hell out of me. It stared to the side for a moment, then it strode off with purpose. Looking back, I want to tell myself it was just the imagination of a half-awake child, but then I remember the awe and the utter fear I felt when the deer changed.
It was just my
Just a deer, man.
Just my imagination.
I guess that was technically the thoughts of an 8-year-old as remembered by an older person. So maybe I didn't
Probably.
necessarily need that kid's voice.
Grandfather.
Grandfather.
Grandfather was
I've
quite fit.
never met an 8-year-old that talks like that.
Grandpa was quite fit.
Well, so
There
there's
have been multiple sightings, and that one, the last one was
these were
1993.
2 accounts.
But then there was another one again. He showed up again in 2012. So he keeps poking his horned head around, his antlered head around.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Oh dear. That's right. He was witnessed on a night in early spring 2012 in the Wichita Mountains in Oklahoma. The creature was first seen after it was illuminated in the headlights. So the deer man in the headlights. The creature was described as standing upright like a man with human-like arms and legs. However, the head resembled that of a buffalo or an elk. The creature possessed glowing red eyes and was capable of emitting a piercing screech. Possible explanations. Who can say? Who can say?
A bipedal.
Bipedal.
bipedal, bison-headed deer with glowing red eyes.
Yeah. Yep. With also sort of dog legs that could run like a mother.
And surprisingly fit and muscular. Just,
Fit.
Yeah.
Built like a brick.
We're like a bricklayer.
Yeah.
Like a bricklayer.
Well, that's going to take us to ad number 2.
Segway sound.
The Well Endowed podcast by the Edmonton Community Foundation. It's hosted by Andrew Paul and Elizabeth Bonkink, produced by Lisa Pruden. The Well Endowed podcast explores the impact of passionate people who are working to make Edmonton a strong, vibrant city to live in. The Edmonton Community Foundation helps people create endowment funds. The podcast tells the story of how those endowments intersect with the community. Subscribe at thewellendowedpodcast.com.
Subject number 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
This is a brief history of the April Fool's Day.
Segway sound. Okay, now just a second, sweetie. I'm trying to work on my podcast here. Just a second. Hey, what? No, just a second. I'm trying to. No, I'm trying to work on my podcast here. What are you doing? Hey, what? I'm trying to work on my podcast. What are you doing?
April Fool's Day. I keep getting distracted by this. Yeah, it's a Fool's. April Fool's Day, or All Fools.
All them fools.
Day is an old celebration from the olden days, and is an old mystery from the days of yore. One theory states that it all began when France switched from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, as discussed, of course, in the Council of Trent. We're on the Gregorian calendar now.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Big T.
A decision that took almost 20 years to implement. So the Council of Trent, they're like, we're switching now from Julian to the Gregorian, and it will take us 20 years.
J to G.
I don't think they said it was going to take 20 years.
Oh, I don't think they just took a long time. Apparently, people who had been used to celebrating the new year in late March or early April were now commanded to do so in January. The ones who stayed on the March-April celebration were mocked relentlessly, and, like Trek fans, became the victims of cruel pranks.
Did you say like truck fans?
Like Trek fans, like Star Trek fans. Trekkies. One such prank included having a paper fish called Poisson d'Avril, April fish, which implied they were young and easily caught. Or the whole thing stems, like most things, from ancient Rome, where the celebration of Hilaria was held in April and included people wearing costumes, playing jokes, fun pranks, activities for kids, and human sacrifice and mass orgies.
Fun! Wait.
Yeah.
We can wear costumes on April 1st?
You can if you'd like to. In 18th century Scotland, there was a tradition in late March called hunting the gowk. And a gowk is a cuckoo bird.
Get that gowk.
Get that gowk out of here. In which people were sent on phony errands. So this was followed by...
Go get the rum wrench.
Get a bucket.
Yeah, totally. Go get a bucket of steam. Yeah.
I need some ice mix. Stat. We need ice mix.
In the service industry, this is alive and well. Yeah. Hunting the gowk. This was followed closely by another Scottish tradition called Taily Day. So that was a day which revolved around pinning tails and kick me signs to friends. That's where kick me comes from. Friends, family, and foes. So you'd put a kick me sign on your friends, your family, or your foes. Now, you guys, I'm going to say something controversial here. You are either a friend, family, or a foe. Now, you choose, but you're one of the three. Okay.
Do we have to choose?
Yep. The modern examples hit mainstream in the 1950s when the BBC ran a special on the Swiss farmers having a record year for their spaghetti crops. Footage was shown that made it look as though farmers were harvesting massive ropes of spaghetti from trees. Mamma mia. Yeah, spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Go get the spaghetti. One of the most famous examples of this was in 1996. This is before Greg was born, when Taco Bell announced plans to purchase the Liberty Bell from the city of Philadelphia and rename it the Taco Liberty Bell. Charlie, do you remember this?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, dude, wasn't that? And that was a big snafu at the time.
That was 5 years and 1 day after I was born. Just letting you know.
So where did April Fools come from?
Where?
The pagans, probably, but we'll never know. That reminds me. Do you guys like Oreos?
Yes.
Okay, well, here you go.
You said ominously.
Now, going back to our umlaut system, I have a, o, and oo.
I think I might stick with my original choice.
Are these? You see, this is all random, so I'm not going to worry about it.
So here we go. We have a, o, and oo. Now, I let Charlie pick first this last time. Greg, would you like a, o, or ooh?
Is only one of them being messed with? Or are two of them being messed with and one person walks out safely? I'm going with A. Give me A. Give me A. Ooh,
Charlie, would you like O or ooh?
Give me ooh.
Ooh. Okay.
Give me R. Give me R, which I desire.
So then I will stay with O.
Oh.
Alrighty then. Okay, here, I'll just...
Oh, yeah. The one on the right is the one for me.
Now let's all have a nice little cookie cheers and eat together.
I don't want this anymore.
Here we go. Yum, yum, yum. 1, 2, 3.
I don't want this anymore.
Oh, boy.
I'm not eating it.
That's a tasty cookie. Go ahead and try it, man. What? You got to tell me what it is.
It's toothpaste.
Are you implying I scraped off the creamy filling and put toothpaste in there?
Oh, absolutely. You know what? Here. This actually, can someone get a photo of, or a video of me pulling this apart?
Here we go.
Here we go. Check it out. Here we are. Live and updated. You'll see this on Instagram in an hour from now. I knew because it didn't move like a regular Oreo. As you can see, this is
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. That's so gross.
Eat the cookie.
Okay,
Eat the cookie.
I will take a bite.
Eat the cookie. Whoa. Oh. You know you're not actually supposed to eat toothpaste, right? It says it right on the tube.
This is how we brush our teeth in my family. We scrape it onto a cookie.
Yeah, that seems
we don't
like
we don't use brushes.
Scott family trait.
We use cookies.
Everybody eat your dinner cookies after dinner cookies.
I could not handle a toothpaste Oreo after that vinegar thing. I was convinced it was going to happen again. All right, Greg.
He's going to need a second. You got to give him.
The man's had toothpaste. He's had bloody toothpaste.
Hey guys, thought I would just sneak this into the edit. I don't know about you, but I'm really getting tired of this theme song. It's getting old. I think it's time for a change. So here's a little throwback to one of my favorite wrestlers. I love his theme song, so I think this should be our new one. Well, it's the Greg Show. Yeah. It's the Greg Show. Yeah, we'll work on it.
That is going to take us to opinion time.
Oh, opinion time.
My opinion is you should not feed people toothpaste.
It says right on the thing you're not
You're not supposed to eat it, Greg.
eat it.
I didn't tell you. I didn't tell you to eat it.
Segway sound.
Opinion time. Hey, everybody, it's opinion time.
You did.
You're
No, I didn't. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you totally did. Cut to scene where he puts on that fake.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Charlie, what was our first theory?
toothpaste.
Doom Song.
The Doom Song of Montreal.
That's right.
That's right. And Andrew, what was our monster of the week? It was the deer man, a hybrid from Delaware.
Hybrid. Dear man.
And Greg, what was our second subject?
I'm still upset that you fed me toothpaste. So I don't give a shit.
Something about
Toothpaste.
All Fool's Day.
All Fool's Day. Yeah.
But really, though, what was that song?
I've never heard it, and you guys.
I don't know
play
it.
it. Can we play it?
Dude, the whole thing is that and this sounds ridiculous, but I'm like, I don't want to play the song because if we do, like the curse, man, you want to be careful about this kind of thing, like for real.
This is like the Curse of the Black Pearl, where we get 5 movies of pirates, or like,
you know what?
bring it on, man! I want to hear the song.
Hold on.
I just ate an Oreo filled with toothpaste. I deserve to hear the song.
Fine. Okay.
I'm going to look it up.
Okay. So the guy's name. Do you remember the guy's name?
No. What was it again?
Benny LaVivo.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, I thought it was Benny Manassi.
All right. And the city. Okay, are you? Okay, all right. I'm not. I'm gonna stop being silly about
search
this.
for the Doom song or what?
No. So it's called. Well, you might be able to look it up. I'll just give you the name of the song. So it's called "City of Broken Promises."
Calgary.
I know. It's about Calgary. Got him. Zing, zing, zing.
I found it.
Okay,
I got it.
Let's hear. Are we sure? Should I take my headphones off?
I'm listening to it, man.
Okay, here, turn it on here.
What's the worst that could happen?
After toothpaste and Oreo, I'm ready for this.
Dude, that's the song you were humming earlier.
City of broken promises.
This is the song you were singing earlier.
City of broken promises. The city of broken promises.
I don't know, man. This is pretty weird. Maybe we should. I don't know if we should keep doing this. I can't stop. 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 I can't stop.
You're in the city of broken. The city of broken promises.
The city of broken promises. Why?
You're in the city of broken, the city of broken promises. Why? You're in the city of broken, the city of broken promises. Why? In the city of broken, the city of broken promises. Oh, why? In the city of broken, the city of broken promises. Oh, broken promises.
Segway sound.
Oh, hey guys, welcome. It's the Kringle Wilkie here again, and the boys of It's a Conspiracy. Well, they're probably dead, and here we are. Wasn't that a journey of love and triumph? It sure was. And we're all having fun. It's a great time packing candy. It's a fun factory. We really do appreciate your stopping by for a listen. And please feel free to rate, review, subscribe, draw a picture of your horse and set your horse free into the woods and tell it to speak kindly of our peoples. You can check out all of the past episodes on social media at itsaconspiracypodcast.com. Those jackasses will be back soon enough from the dead with their quarantine special. You're in the shitty. You're in the shitty. You're in the shitty now. Take care, my pretty peoples. I'm going to think of your mouths. Oh, got your mouths. Estás en la ciudad de las promesas rotas, ¿por qué?